All right, here we go. Process video, or part one of a process video of that blacksmith folding knife. I start with a 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch square bar, and I use my bandsaw to split it like a Frederick's cross. Basically, you're just going to draw it out differently. I started on the power hammer because you can use it just for a little bit here to draw out those ends just a little bit, but most of all this is done by hand hammer, and that's why it's such a long and laborious process, and you have to be very careful. I'm drawing out the handlebars here, but you have to be very careful because when you have cuts in it like that, it's easy to create cracks or break them off, and keeping everything straight and uniform in a process like this takes a lot of time and patience. But here you see me drawing out the handle scales, or the parts that will be the handle scales. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for about an 1/8 inch of thickness, keeping the 1/2 inch width, and we want to get it about 3.5 inches long. So now we do the same thing to the other side, and bam, when you have magic like me, you can do it that fast. Anyway, so I've pretty much got my handle scales, at least all the rough forging done. Now I'm going to flip it around and spread the other end, and that end is going to be drawn out into the spring on one side and the pocket clip on the other. So we're just going to kind of repeat the process, but we're going to draw these out a good bit more to create those parts. This again takes a good bit of time because most of it has to be done by hand. And you have to be really careful once you get them drawn out this small that you don't break them off or crack them off. What I'm doing here on this one is something a little different than on the last one. One of the comments, or somebody that commented, said it would be really cool if the back spring kind of looked like a snake. And so on this next iteration, I'm going to try to do that. Anyway, so this is what we're making in the process video. This one I made a couple days ago. It went over really well. It was just a really fun project. Supposedly I was supposed to be working on pans, says the shop manager, but I got distracted. So here's what it looks like after about 90% of the forging. That section right there will become the pocket clip, and this section here will become the spring. And if you notice how I forged it a little bit different than the last one's just kind of flat, square, or rectangular. And this one I kind of rounded, and I left a wider section at the end. And I'm kind of going to create a wave in that, and then hopefully carve a snake's head into that. So the spring will actually be a snake going up the back of the knife. So anyway, stick around for part 2. This is going to be part 1, and we'll try to finish this up and see if I can actually make a snake crawl up the back. Appreciate all the support and shares, guys. Thank you so much. Take a look at the site and check out some pans. Everyone have a great weekend.